I never imagined I'd be dialing 911 because a grown woman dared to grab my 12-year-old son and try to snatch his birthday present right out of his hands. But that's exactly what happened when our HOA Karen decided my boy's brand new mountain bike couldn't possibly belong to him. She was so convinced he'd stolen it from some rich kid that she physically restrained him in broad daylight, right in our own driveway. What she didn't realize was that my next-door neighbor had his phone out, recording the entire scene. What that camera captured still makes my blood boil. It all started with a sound I'll never forget. My son's terrified scream echoing through our usually peaceful cul-de-sac. I was in the backyard, stringing up balloons and setting the table for his 12th birthday party, when that scream cut through the air like a siren. That kind of cry, the kind that makes every parent's heart stop cold, had me dropping everything and sprinting to the front yard. What I saw made my stomach twist. There was my son Tommy on the ground, crying, while a red-faced woman in her 50s clung to the handlebars of his brand-new mountain bike like it was evidence in a crime scene. The same bike I'd given him less than an hour earlier. "This isn't yours. Put it down right now!" she shrieked, yanking the bike away from him as Tommy tried, through his tears, to hold on. "I know exactly which garage you stole this from." My blood ran cold. I bolted across the lawn just as Tommy stumbled backward, the woman's hand smacking his shoulder in what could only be described as a shove. By now, several neighbors had stepped out onto their porches. I heard one of them mutter, "I'm calling 911. That woman, I'd soon learn her name was Barbara Wilson, the self-appointed queen of our homeowners association, had just put her hands on my child. She didn't know it was his birthday. She didn't know that Teak was a gift he'd been dreaming about for months. Tommy had saved pictures of that red mountain bike from magazines, sent me links online, and even made a PowerPoint presentation titled, "Why This Bike Will Change My Life." So when his birthday rolled around, I knew exactly what I had to do. I'd hidden the bike for weeks at my sister's place, working extra hours to pay for it. The look on his face that morning, when he opened a small box with just a photo of the bike inside, was pure joy. It made every late night at work worth it. After breakfast, we wheeled the bike out front while I set up decorations in the backyard. Tommy begged to take it for a quick ride. I told him to stay close, just up and down the street, while I finished getting ready for the party. That's when Barbara must have spotted him. And, true to her reputation, she jumped to the worst possible conclusion. "Ma'am," I said, my voice shaking but steady, "take your hands off my son. Now." By that time, a small crowd had gathered. Several people had their phones out, recording the confrontation. Barbara spun toward me, her face twisted with self-righteous fury. "Your son, this bike. Oh, please. The Millers down the street just reported a stolen mountain bike, and this looks exactly like it. I was on my way to check on the Thompsons' unapproved garden gnomes when I caught this little thief in action." Tommy looked up at me, tears streaming down his cheeks. "Dad, tell her. Tell her it's mine. It's my birthday today." Before I could open my mouth, Barbara let out a mocking laugh. "Oh, how convenient. His birthday, huh? So you decided to gift yourselves a $1,500 mountain bike? Please, kids around here need to learn not to take what doesn't belong to them. The HOA has rules, and I enforce them." I stepped between Barbara and my son, helping Tommy back to his feet. "Barbara, listen to me. This is ridiculous. It is his birthday. We've got decorations in the backyard, the wrapping paper's still in the trash, and I have the receipt for that bike right here." But she just crossed her arms and sneered. "Oh, so now you're teaching him to lie, too? Figures. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Honestly, I never trusted you people moving in here. The HOA board should have been stricter with background checks." The words hit like a slap. Around us, neighbors started murmuring, some shocked, some clearly fed up. I recognized a few faces, folks who'd been fined by Barbara for absurd things like a mailbox shade being too off-white or a garbage can left out 15 minutes past pickup. Tommy clutched my hand tighter, trembling, but Barbara wasn't done. "I'm confiscating this bike until we confirm who it really belongs to," she declared, gripping the handlebars and trying to wheel it away. Tommy lunged forward, sobbing, "No! It's mine!" That's when Barbara shoved him again, harder this time. He fell backward, scraping his arm on the pavement. And that was it. I snapped. "Don't you dare touch my son!" I roared, stepping in front of Tommy. "What is wrong with you?" "He's a child." Barbara's face darkened even more, veins bulging in her neck. "He shouldn't be resisting an HOA official," she barked, actually trying to justify what she'd done. "I'm performing my duties," Barbara barked, clutching the bike like it was her trophy. "This is theft, plain and simple." Before I could even respond, our neighbor from across the street, Mrs. Chen, stepped forward, holding up her phone. "Barbara," she said sharply, "I've been recording this whole thing." "You just shoved a 12-year-old child to the ground. That's assault." Barbara's head whipped toward her, eyes flashing. "I did no such thing," she snapped. "He fell while trying to run away with stolen property. I'm the victim here." But before anyone could argue, the distant wail of police sirens began to echo down the street. Barbara straightened her posture, her angry expression melting into smug satisfaction. "Finally," she said, brushing off her blouse. "Now we'll get this sorted out properly. You'll see what happens when you break the rules in my neighborhood." Moments later, a police cruiser rolled up, lights flashing red and blue across the manicured lawns. Two officers stepped out, scanning the tense scene. A crying child, a furious woman gripping a bicycle, and a half-circle of neighbors filming with their phones. To my relief, I recognized one of the officers. Officer Martinez, calm, fair, and familiar from community barbecues and school events. "What's going on here?" he asked carefully, looking between Barbara and me. Barbara wasted no time. "Officer, thank goodness you're here. I caught this boy red-handed, stealing a bike from another home. When I confronted him, his father came out and threatened me. I was simply fulfilling my duties as HOA president to maintain the safety and integrity of our community." I took a slow breath, forcing my voice to stay calm. "Officer Martinez, today is my son's 12th birthday. That bike is his birthday present from me. I have the receipt in my wallet and about 20 witnesses who saw me give it to him this morning. This woman grabbed my son, accused him of theft without a shred of proof, and physically shoved him to the ground." Officer Martinez turned to Barbara, his expression neutral. "Ma'am, did you physically touch the child?" "Absolutely not," Barbara said instantly, voice dripping with false outrage. "He fell while trying to keep hold of stolen property. I'm the one being harassed here." Mrs. Chen stepped forward again, her voice steady. "Officer, I have the entire thing on video, including when she pushed him." She handed over her phone. Officer Martinez watched silently, his brows furrowing as the footage played. I took the opportunity to pull the gift receipt from my wallet, holding it up. "Here's the purchase date, 3 weeks ago. I've been planning this surprise for a month." Another neighbor called out from the sidewalk. "I saw them bring that bike home this morning." The kid was bouncing up and down. He was so happy. When Officer Martinez finished watching the video, he handed the phone back to Mrs. Chen and turned to his partner, murmuring something low. The two exchanged a brief nod before walking toward Barbara. "Ma'am," Martinez said firmly, "I'm going to need you to step away from the bicycle." Barbara blinked, confused. Wait, what?" "But I'm the HOA president. It's my responsibility to—" "Ma'am," he interrupted, his tone harder now. "Based on the evidence and multiple witness statements, you assaulted a minor and attempted to take property that doesn't belong to you. That's a criminal offense." Barbara's mouth fell open. "That's absurd. I was protecting our community." The Millers reported, "There have been no reports of stolen bicycles in this area." The second officer cut in. "And even if there had been, that would not authorize you to physically confront a child or seize their property." While the officers spoke with Barbara, I knelt beside Tommy, checking his scraped arm. "You okay, buddy?" I asked softly. He sniffled, nodding. "Is she going to take my bike, Dad?" I smiled gently, shaking my head. "No, son. That's your bike. No one's taking it from you." Then we both froze, as Officer Martinez's voice rang out clearly. "Barbara Wilson, you're under arrest for assault on a minor and attempted theft. Place your hands behind your back." The neighborhood let out a collective gasp. You could hear the shock ripple through the crowd. Barbara's face drained of color. "This is outrageous. Do you know who I am?" I'll have your badge. I'll sue this entire neighborhood. But the officers didn't flinch. They cuffed her calmly, reading her rights as she continued to protest. As they led her toward the squad car, Tommy looked up at me with wide, uncertain eyes. Dad, is she really getting arrested because of me? I hugged him close. No, buddy. She's getting arrested because of her own actions. No one, not even an HOA president, gets to hurt you or take what's yours. 3 months later, Barbara pleaded guilty to misdemeanor assault and attempted theft. The judge sentenced her to 6 months of probation, a $150 fine, and mandatory anger management classes. She was also hit with a restraining order, legally required to stay at least 100 feet away from us at all times. The HOA board didn't waste a second. In an emergency meeting, they voted her out unanimously. Her downfall was swift and complete. The last I heard, Barbara had put her house up for sale. She couldn't face the neighbors who'd all witnessed her meltdown and arrest. A few days later, I spotted her across the street, packing boxes into a moving truck. For a brief moment, our eyes met. Her expression was a tangled mix of humiliation and bitterness. Then she turned away abruptly, disappearing into her house and slamming the door behind her. If you think this HOA, Karen went way too far, and that justice was absolutely served. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more unbelievable real-life stories, where the truth always finds its way out.